The sun has set. It is 7:32 p.m. and it is once again time to welcome you to the 15th World Wushu Championships, coming to you live from Shanghai, China, out of Minghan Stadium. This is Mario Martinez, one of your commentators, and I'm joined today by
Paula Midani, and I'm very excited to be here today, and we will be commentating on field of play 2. And this evening we will start with men's Jianshu, and after women's Qiangshu, and I'm sure that we're going to have some exciting evening today.
Now, Paulo, this morning we had some really exciting events in this field of play 2. A couple of events to mention. We had women's Shuangjian, where Anastasia Chirluk from Israel placed first with a really strong performance.
Yes, she was awesome.
Second place was taken by Cho Man Sao from Macau, Canada, earning a bronze. Erica Jiayi Li took home a medal, adding a medal to Canada's medal count. Immediately followed by women's Daoshu, where Sandra Konstantinova, longtime national Russia champion, took home, secured the gold.
And she deserved it.
Followed by Hong Kong, Shushu Liu taking home the silver, and rounding out the medal podium was Mia Tian from the United States, taking home the bronze. And then later in the tail end of the morning session, we had men's Tai Chi Chuan event, where China came in and secured the gold. Very, very strong competition, but he secured it with a 9.713. Bi Hui Cui, followed by our silver medalist, Won Hee Yu from Korea, and then rounding up the Tao 3, closing out our morning session, Chun Hao Lo from Malaysia. Paula, anyone that you're excited to see this evening in men's Jianshu?
Yeah, really looking forward to see my teammate from Brazil, Marcio, and I know he has been training hard, so I really want to watch him doing his thing on the carpet.
Now, Paula, what I'm interested to see is we saw a lot of these male competitors compete in men's Changchuan this morning. Our colleagues, Alan Tang and Anthony Chen, our co-commentators in Field of Play 1, had a field of 88 competitors in men's Changchuan. Quite a long day for them, but we'll see if these athletes are well rested and ready for their evening events. Some of these athletes were able to take home some medals. I'm sure they'll be eager to come back and try to secure another medal.
Yeah, they had like a couple hours to get rest and get focused again, to be here and do their best. And some of them were trying to get the top three again. And I'm sure it's going to be quite a battle again for these guys.
And Paula, I can say with very strong confidence that this has been one of the best World Wushu Championships that I've seen, at least in the last 2 days of action-packed days from morning to evening sessions. We've seen medals exchange back and forth, athletes putting on fierce performances, and ultimately those that are willing to leave it all on the carpet are the ones that are taking home the medals.
Yeah, each world game we can tell like they are getting better and better, and the techniques are cleaner, and they having more power and good jump technique. So each world games they have more to update the challenge to be on the top three.
All right, and it looks like the judges are settling in. We have 33 competitors in this men's Jianshu event this evening. Again, many-time world championships behind their belts. And a number of competitors, some new. I'm sure looking to make a name for themselves here tonight. We've got some of our medalists from earlier this morning in men's Changchun event. Some really strong athletes.
And our first athlete is from Chile, Moises Amado. So this morning we saw a couple of athletes having watch and being deducted from the score. So I think the judge will be looking closely to the way the athletes are holding the sword. And the wajen is when the athlete is holding with the finger touching the blade of the sword.
And Wojian, I believe, translates to gripping the straight sword. So anytime that the blade touches a part of the body, also there's a deduction. What I'm curious to see, Paula, is the advent of the new rules with this World Championships, the Jianji, or the sword fingers, essentially the non-sword hand. You'll see an athlete, the thumb has to be pressing onto the ring, and small finger and the two index finger and middle finger must be kept straight and together. So I'll be curious if we see any of these deductions. I believe we saw at least a couple in some of the other events. So we'll have to see. Again, it all dependent on what the judges see. There we see a Kotui Pinghung, or the single leg balance. Not sure if he was quite able to hold it for the length of time. Might be looking at least one deduction there.
So the athletes needs to hold the list for 2 seconds.
Slight loss of balance there. Always difficult being the first competitor up.
Yeah, he's breaking the ice. Probably he's going to have a couple deduction for a group judge.
See an overhead cloud with the sword. Immediately going into a jump outside. There we see the kicking leg. Unfortunately, it looks like it's just below the shoulder level. And as we're seeing these repeats, it's easy to critique as we see the instant replay. Unfortunately, judges do not have instant replay or the vantage points that we do.
And the slow motions
Yeah.
moves.
We'll stand by for Moises' score, 8.316. We see at least 5 deductions. We see the deduction for the kicking leg being below shoulder level. Looks like a deduction for not holding his balance. Series of deductions for his group C score, giving him a total of 1.75 out of a potential 2.0.
And our next competitor is from Australia, Regan Tang. Jump outside kick to 540, stumble there. Probably gonna cost him some points.
Jump inside 540. Looks like the kicking leg might have been a little bit short there. Stumble on the landing.
Jump outside kick.
Now, one thing that you'll see all these athletes do is a single leg balance known as the Kotui Ping Hung. The leg of the supporting leg has to be near the horizontal level when they go down, and then it needs to be held at for at least 2 seconds. That was Regan Tang from Australia. Series of deductions. There we see his jump inside.
Final score is 8.183. And he had 4 deductions for Group A.
Looks like 2 deductions for kicking below shoulder level, a loss of balance deduction, in addition to at least 1 deduction for a bow stance.
And the next athlete is from USA.
Naoki Kang.
Good sword movements. Jump outside kick 540 to horse stance. Jump from kick to sitting stance. Jump from kick aerial. Shuan Fei Jiao to horse stance 360. Jump outside 360 to horse stance. Steady for more than 2 seconds. Overall, was a good performance. Couldn't see any big mistake.
Final score for Naoki Kang, 9.446. Perfect A score, perfect C score. He moves into the first place position. Our next competitor, very strong competitor from Malaysia, Wang Wong, already bringing home a silver from this morning's male Changchun event. He is also our 14th World Wushu Championships gold medalist in this same event. He is a powerhouse. We'll have to see how he does this evening. Hopefully he was able to get some rest. But a seasoned vet like Wang Wong is sure to deliver. We'll see. Very fast opening sequence. Jump outside 720 to horse stance. Jump front kick aerial. Inside 360 to horse. You can just see the snap and power in the execution of his difficulty movements from here on out. Knowing Wang Wong, he's going to turn up the heat and just move through this as quickly as possible. Lots of speed and precision.
Very steady.
Really strong performance from Wang Wong. We'll stand by and wait for a score. I think he's definitely going to raise the bar.
Yep. You can tell that he's really fighting for his medal. Final score 9.636, getting him to first place. Perfect score for A group and perfect score for C group. Next athlete,
Sam and Mack from Great Britain. Now, Paula, you were a straight sword competitor yourself, weren't you?
yes.
What were some of the elements of straight sword that you think judges are going to be looking for?
Yeah, especially the flowers. They really need to look round and close to the body and need to be fast. So this athlete, Sam, this is at least his third World Games. I saw him in Indonesia and Russia. So he has some experience in World Games. So Mario, you were a straight sword athlete also. So right back to you. What do you think the judges might be looking?
Well, I think the main attribute of straight sword as opposed to any other short weapon is its precise movements. It's a double-bladed weapon. It's made more for piercing and slicing, requires a lot more precision. The slicing and piercing movements have to be on a horizontal or vertical plane. And like you mentioned, maintaining the sword close to the body for efficiency and movement
Yep.
is huge. Final score for Mack, 9.280. We see one loss of balance, A group deduction, one C group deduction, giving him a 1.85. Good for third place at the moment.
And the next competitor, it's Mark Wallshot from Belgium.
Jump inside, split. A
Very,
little bit of difficulty going down into it.
and we were so close to the line to go outside of the area.
Paula, anytime any athlete gets precariously near to the carpet, it gives me a heart attack.
Yeah, I know. Because this is huge deduction for the athlete.
That was Mark Wallshot. Will stand by for his score.
It's taking a little longer.
We are down 6 competitors in this field of 33 athletes in men's Jianshu. We've had at least one drop. Now, Paula, I'm curious to see how high these scores get. In some of the other male events that we've seen, some of the scores have reached as high as a 9.7.
Yep.
There we have it. Final score for Mark, 7.283.
Had like 7 deduction for A score and a few deductions for C score. And our next competitor, then Rio Rodriguez from Spain. Mario, who are you looking for to watch this evening?
Well, you know who I'm excited to see? I'm excited to see Qizhen Li from China. Also, Ha-Sung Lee. He's already taking home a bronze from men's Changchuan. He was also our silver medalist from the 14th World Wushu Championships. So I'm really excited to see his straight sword. He always delivers as well. Also, being so close to China and close to the tail end of the competition, I'm sure he's just going to try to tear the roof down with his
Yes.
score. That's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing some really competitive back and forths. And athletes are really taking a lot of risks, really pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to require to be able to break into the top three. Dan Rio, couple of issues with some of his jumps. Very athletic.
Yeah, he's trying to do some hard jumps. There is his being hang. I think he needed to hold for a little while.
Yeah, that's the challenge, you know, trying to maintain the same speed and rhythm of your routine, particularly when your adrenaline's pumping and you're getting
Yep.
motivated and you know that you've got really strong competitors following. Trying to get onto the scoreboard, it's really imperative to try to maintain your rhythm and ensure that you not get any technical deductions because those can hurt you just as bad as any of your difficulty movements. You see Dan doing a butterfly twist. Standing by for Dan's final score.
Final score is 8.91. He had 2 deductions for balance.
And a series of Group C deductions, 1.75 overall out of a 2.0. Overall, Group B score 2.36.
Our next competitor is Ivan Alejandro from Bolivia.
Ivan prepares for his first difficulty. Butterfly twist. To a jump inside split. Now, from the vantage point that the judges were looking at, it might have looked like his rear leg was bent, but it'll be curious to see if the judges saw that.
Jump outside, 542 horse stance. But he lost his balance on the horse stance. So Mario, I said this before in a different event, but the South American Games, Wushu Games was in Bolivia like a couple months ago. Oh, he just lost his grip right now. But he managed to catch and not drop on the floor. So the South America was in Bolivia, and all the athletes had a really hard time with the altitude. So it was like 3,800 above the sea level, and that was crazy. And athletes were needed oxygen directly from the when they stop doing their form, they need the oxygen. So these athletes from Bolivia, they have this advantage, you know.
Yeah, that sounds pretty intense. It's
Yes.
already difficult trying to get your routine in a minute 20. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Final score for Ivan, 7.853. We see at least 4 A group deductions, 2 loss of balances, 2 for kicking below the shoulder level, 1.05 for his difficulty score out of a 2.0, 2.203 overall Group B score. Our next competitor is from the United States, Brian Wong. Brian is a very strong straight sword competitor. Very fast opening sequence.
Strong beginning. Jump outside, 540 to horse stance. Jump from kick aerial. Jump inside kick to horse stance, 360. Jump outside, 360 horse stance. His spin hang movement. Butterfly to sitting stance. Good performance, couldn't see any mistakes.
Now, barring any Group A or C deductions, it's really coming down to that Group B score. Right now, as it stands, Sam Mack holds the third place position with a 9.28. Brian will need to be better than that to break into the top 3.
There's Eugene, it's the US coach. Stand by for Brian's score. Final score for Brian's 9.55. It's perfect score for A group, perfect score for C group, and the B score was 2.55, getting him to a second place.
Our next competitor is from the Netherlands, Jonin Tang.
So Jonin Tang is a very experienced athlete. He competed in a couple World Games, at least in Indonesia and Russia. That's an interesting start.
Adding a bit of creativity to his opening. First Nandu, jump outside 540 to horse stance.
He's safe there, jump for kick, aerial. Jump inside kick to horse stance 360. Jump outside kick to horse stance.
There we see a single leg balance.
Now he needs to show his ability with the straight sword. He lost his balance and touched the floor with the sword. That's gonna cost him a few points. Other than that, he did a good job. Stand by for Jonin Tang. Final score. So final score is 9.013. He had 2 deduction for A group, loss of balance and kicking below the shoulder. And yeah, he lost the connection for his Nandu.
And our next competitor takes the carpet, Ivan Avina Mendes from Mexico. Now, Paul, it's really interesting to see the starting for every athlete's routine. Of course, every athlete can, create their own routine opening sequence. And it's interesting how athletes try to stand out and kind of add a bit of their own personality or flavor or style into their performance.
Yep. They tried to make a signature.
Ivan doing well so far. There was at least one potential loss of balance. Seems to be one of the more common deductions that we've seen throughout this championships. A loss of deduction score is taken anytime that an athlete's body sways in 2 opposite directions to try to gather their balance. So if he falls forward, falls back, tries to correct, the deduction would be taken. That was Ivan Mendes from Mexico. Waves to his teammates in the crowd. Looks like he missed the kick, the slap there. We'll have to see if the judges caught that.
We have the advantage of the slow motion footage. And the final score is 8.573. 8 deductions, and a deduction for his Nando. Next competitor is Morgan Misko from Poland.
Jump front kick aerial. A little bit of difficulty landing there, yeah. We see his balance.
So Mario, what do you think the athletes need to look for when they are creating their routine to compete and getting all the technique and jumps and kicks? What do you think they need to look for?
Well, so I think the most important thing in putting these routines together is, number one, ensuring that you are showcasing your strengths and trying to hide any potential weaknesses. I think one thing that I've seen athletes do is sometimes copy combinations or routines because they might think that they look good,
They look cool.
but it may highlight a weakness that a person might have, a lack of flexibility, or it may be a skill that they quite haven't developed quite yet. So I think the important part is you're able to do whatever you want. So the important thing is really showcasing your strengths. Second would be basics and fundamentals. I think that number one, if you can get through your form without getting any A group deductions, it is massive. It's a 5 points. And then, of course, the difficulty movements are also important. But I think with the fundamentals, those will come in time.
Yep, couldn't agree more. And the final score is 8.22. 1A group deduction and the few deduction for C group.
Our next competitor is Victor de la Plaza Schnieperper from Spain. Really crisp opening. Sets up for his first difficulty. Jump outside 540 to horse stance. Couldn't hold on to it though. Jump front kick aerial into a jump inside 360 to horse stance.
Uh, I don't know if it was enough. The hip going needs to be a little bit lower. Butterfly to sitting stance.
That was Victor de la Plaza from Spain. Will stand by for his score. There were a couple of technical deductions. Definitely at least one deduction for his Nandu. We'll see how the judges score it. Again, we have the luxury of slow motion, but it really depended on what the judge's vantage point is. Final score 8.940. Two Group A deductions. It looks like there was a deduction for kicking below shoulder level, and at least one deduction for his empty stance. Overall Group C score 1.85 out of potential 2.0.
And our next competitor is from USA, Alex Zhao Yini.
Alex put on a really strong performance this morning in men's Changshan. I'm sure he's eager to try to see how well he can break into the top three. As it stands, interesting enough, his teammates hold the second and third place. Second place is currently held by Brian Wang with a 9.55. Naoki Tang from the United States as well is holding third place with a 9.446.
Very strong and speed movements. Very good speed. Jump outside to horse stance. Jump for kick to aerial. Jump out and inside to horse stance. Jump outside to horse stance 360. One leg balance. Very steady. Nice movement. Aerial. He has good stances.
Yeah, a lot of hip flexibility.
Yep.
That was Alex Nee from the United States. Now again, to break into the top three, that means he's going to push out one of his teammates. We'll see how the judges score it. Look like a strong performance. And he does it, 9.510, good for third place.
Perfect score for A group and C group. And the next competitor is from Italy, Francesco Guidecci. Getting ready for his Nando. Jump outside 540 to horse stance, lose a little bit of balance. Butterfly twist. Jump inside kick to horse stance 360. Jump outside kick to horse stance. Pin hang. Now he needs to show his technique, speed and power with the sword. That was Francesco, and stand by for his final score. Final score is 9.086. He had one deduction for balance and a deduction for his landing.
Our next competitor takes the carpet, Riku Mifune from Japan. Riku prepares for his first difficulty. Jump outside 720 to horse
Wow.
stance. Butterfly twist. To a jump inside split. Unfortunately, his front foot touched the carpet. It required an additional support. That's going to cost him some points.
Jump from kick aerial.
There's a single leg balance. Looked good. Very fast sword techniques.
It's interesting how he put the single leg balance in the end of the routine when the athletes feel a little bit more tired and it's a little bit harder to hold a balance, one leg balance. Final score is 8.836. He got a deduction uh, for C group, also his first Nando.
Looks like the deduction was for the split landing, the front foot touching the carpet. Group C is 1.35 out of potential 2.0, so they missed his complete jump outside kick. Our next competitor is Qiangshu from Macau. Macau typically fields a very strong field of athletes. Blazing fast opening. Qiangshu sets up for his opening jump. Jump outside, 720 to horse stance, incredible speed.
So good.
Jump front kick aerial into a jump inside to split.
Perfect landing.
You can just see the height of his jumps and the overall flexibility and mobility in the kick. Single leg balance, not in any shake or instability, perfect execution. Jump split into an aerial. Really seamless transition, really difficult combination.
But you can see quite often in Jianshu.
Yeah. Seems like it's been a favorite combination by
Yep.
several athletes. But again, just the execution that Qiangshu is able to do it just really sets him apart.
Pretty good performance. Was strong, powerful, fast, and no mistakes.
Now, our top three at the moment, we're looking at third place is 9.51. Qiangshu will have to break higher than that to break into the top three.
And the final score is 9.623, getting him to a second place, a perfect A score and perfect C score. And the next competitor is Afonso Barbarisi from Italy. Getting ready for his Nando. Jump outside 542 horse stance. Jump outside kick to horse stance 360. Jump from kick to aerial. Jump from kick to city stance. Getting ready for the pin hang.
Little bit of instability there on the balance.
He had two balance in a sequence. Very close to the line of the carpet. Good routine.
Yeah, he's a really strong athlete.
Yep.
There you see the jump outside. Final score 9.140.
Yeah, you can see he got a deduction for losing his balance on the bean hang.
Our next competitor is Dan Mihai Radulescu from
Romania.
butterfly twist into a jump inside 360 to horse stance. Oh, a throw.
Ay,
Unfortunately, that's one of the risks of doing a throw is
yeah,
sometimes you're only able to catch it, and if you catch the blade, it's a deduction.
it's a high risk movement, but it looks good for his jump front kick. It looks like his kick was below the shoulder.
It's a high level of difficulty combination.
Butterfly to sitting stance. Before we could see more athletes trying to throwing straight sword and the spear. We don't see that much anymore. Is it because of the the high risk? What do you think, Mario?
I think it's a very risky movement to try to execute, and I think that athletes are finding other ways of being able to collect their points for difficulty movements. I think that's just one of those movements that very, very small miscalculation and it can cost you major points.
Yeah.
Final score 8.496. We see 3A judge deductions as 0.3. Overall C score 1.45 out of a potential 2.0. Our next competitor is from Canada. Jason Chen Leung is up next. Really sharp opening from Jason. Jump outside 540 to horse stance. Butterfly twist. To jump inside 360 to horse.
He hold for a little longer just to make sure that he stay for at least 2 seconds on the pin hang. Oh, aerial
Aerial
twist.
twist.
Nice ending.
Overall, strong performance from Jason. We'll have to see if it's good enough to break into the top 3. As it
Maybe.
stands, he would need to break a 9.55 to move into the 3rd place or higher position. We'll have to see if this was strong enough.
Final score 9.513. Perfect score for A group and perfect score for C group. His performance was 2.513, getting him to a 4th place. And the next competitor is Benjamin Alexander from Sweden. Jump outside 540, stumble a little bit on a horse stance.
Now, Paul, it's really interesting how athletes are really trying to incorporate intricate movements into their routines to try to stand out.
Yeah.
We've seen a number of different approaches to try to stand out. Everything from adding balances to the end of their routine when they're typically more tired to demonstrate their power and strength,
Yeah.
to just changing up the sequence of nandu, just different types of nandu that we haven't typically seen. And it's just interesting. The majority of the times, it seems like the most successful athletes are the ones that are doing the most simple, basic things just extremely well.
Yep.
I guess consistency is key.
I think this is for every sport. First, you need to be good at the fundamentals and basic movement, and then later on you can get more creative. If you master the basic, and then you can put something more on the on your routine and put a little bit of your own style. Final score is 9.066. He had a deduction for losing balance and a C group deduction for the landing. It's where he lost his balance. Next competitor is from Myanmar, Min Kanso. Jump outside, horse dance, jump from kick to aerial, jumps inside to a split, jump outside to horse dance, and getting ready for his bean hang. Well done. Oh, yeah, you can see he put his hand down. That's gonna cost him points. Butterfly to sitting stance. Stand by for final score. And his final score is 8.67. And he got one deduction for A group, losing balance, and deduction for his Nando and landing.
Our next competitor is from Singapore, Jesse Colin Adalia. Very strong competitor. Now we'll have to see if he can break into the top 3. He is definitely capable enough. Opening up with the center split.
Yep.
That's one way to start your form. Really strong. Jump front kick aerial. Jump inside 720. Unfortunately, it looks like he under-rotated and lost the balance on the landing. Jump outside 540 to horse stance. Doing a throw, jump outside kick.
I'll catch the blade. He cut the blade, so a few more deductions over there. Aerial twist. I think it's hard when you throw the sword and you have to look up and there's so many lights going straight to your eyes. It's a very hard movement.
Really strong competitor. Unfortunately, there were a series of deductions that he'll definitely take. Looks like he knows it. There are some deductions coming for at least a couple of his difficulties and technical deductions.
That movement really, really looked good.
Final score 9.086. We see at least 2 A judge deductions. Overall C group score 1.70.
Oh, that's my friend going to the carpet. He's from Brazil. Márcio de Oliveira Coutinho. So Márcio is one of the Brazilian athletes that's living in Beijing, is studying his master degrees. He's from my city. I know him since he was a little kid. He's a very, very hard worker athlete and very serious about wushu. And he's tall, very tall. Jump outside. Jump for kick aerial. Jump outside to horse stance. Aerial. Nice sword movements.
It's got really good sword basics.
Yep.
Sets up for his single leg balance.
Butterfly to sitting stance. Nicely done.
Well, we'll have to see how the judges score. It looked good overall.
He had a couple of back injury a few months ago. So I know he tried his best and it looked good. And his final score is 9.30, getting him to 7th place. And he got a deduction for A group and a perfect score for Nandu.
Looks like his A group deduction was for kicking below shoulder level.
I think it was for his first Nandu. And our next competitor, it's Team Sastrovjarjo
From the
from
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
We're down to our final 6 competitors. Still some very fierce competitors in very short sequence. We've got Pavel Muratov coming up from Russia, Qizhen Li from China, and Ha-Sung Lee from Korea. Pavel and Ha-Sung have already secured medals for their countries. I'm sure they're looking to take home more and add some to their total medal count. It's going to be a fierce battle to the bitter end. We'll have to see if they can break into the top medal standings.
And we still have Egypt. We have seen some good Egypt athletes, very strong and powerful movements. So we'll see if he's going to be good at Jianshu. Nice and steady. Jump front kick aerial. Butterfly front sweep. So that was Tim from Netherlands. Stand by for his final score.
Now there we see the sweep. Unfortunately, the foot has to maintain contact with the floor all the way around. But again, we have a good vantage point, so we'll have to see what the judges saw. At least 2 of the 3 judges must agree on the deduction. There we see his final score, 8.556. At least 2 A group deductions. Overall C group score of 1.45 of a potential 2.0. Our next competitor, Raymond Bauer from France, is up on deck. is Pavel Muratov from Russia. Really fast opening sequence. Sets up for his first difficulty, jump outside 540 to horse stance. Really tall athlete.
Yes.
No issue so far. Jump outside 360 to horse stance. Here he sets up for his single leg balance, his Kotui Pinghung. Good stability. Now from here on out, he really needs to push his speed and power, maintaining intensity throughout the end of the routine. We've got some really high scores up. If he wants to break into the top 3, he'll need to maintain his speed and intensity. Aerial twist.
Strong performance. Final score 9.463. Perfect score for A group and perfect score for C group. His performance was 2.463.
Up next is our bronze medal champion from men's Changchun from earlier this morning. Pavel Muratov returns to the carpet, hoping to earn another medal for Russia. Third place is currently held at a 9.55.
All the Russian athletes are very, very athletic and strong.
Pavel is definitely a very strong athlete. We'll have to see how he fares. Jump inside 720 to horse stance. Jump outside 540. Going into his single leg balance.
Not a problem for him. Good speed of the sword. Very fast jump from kick aerial. You can see how close is the sword to his body. Jump from kick sit stance.
Pavel closing out his routine. Really Really strong performance. I think he's going to be able to do it. We'll just have to see if the judges agree. It's going to be a fierce battle to the bitter end. We still have China, Korea, and Egypt on deck. We're down to our final three.
Final score, 9.62. Was a perfect score for C group and A group. His performance score was 2.62, getting him to third place. Next competitor is from China.
Qizhen Li. You can hear the stadium going wild.
Yeah, that's a lot of good energy.
Extremely fast opening movements.
Very sharp.
Here we see him setting up for his difficulty. Butterfly twist. Immediately into a two-step tornado 720 to horse stance landing. Very difficult combination to execute. Jump outside 540 into a horse stance landing. Here he sets up for his single leg balance. Lots of control, very precise movements. Very good use of the sword. Jump front kick aerial.
Nice body movements with the sword.
You can just see the level of coordination between his sword hand and his footwork. Everything is in sync.
What do you think, Mario? Good enough for first place?
I think we're gonna see a 9-7. 9.710.
I guess you're right.
Moving him into first place. That's still not over. We still have two more competitors left. Ha Seung Lee, who took home a bronze this morning in men's Changchuan. He is also our silver medalist in this event from last World Wushu Championships. Ha Seung is a really strong straight sword competitor. I'm sure he still has his eye on the prize and is looking to try to break into the top three as well. Third place is currently held at a 9.623. That's a high bar to try to reach to. However, if anyone can do it, Ha Seung is definitely capable.
This morning he had a really, really good routine.
Jump outside 540, jump front kick sitting stance.
He's a very consistent athlete.
You can just see the extreme speed in the sword technique. Looks like his tassel's a bit caught up.
He managed to let it go, the tassel.
Really strong performance. We'll have to see how the judges score it.
Final score 9.61. It was a perfect score for C group and A group.
Yeah, it looks like it came down to the B score. And we are down to our final competitor in this men's Jianshu event. Islam El Said from Egypt. You'll want to stand by. Following men's Jianshu, we'll be going into women's Qiangshu, where we have a field of 22 athletes. All of our medalists from yesterday's Jianshu event are in that roster. Really strong field of female competitors immediately following men's Jianshu.
Oh, he lost his balance after his jump. Throwing and catch after during the outside jump. And he managed to catch the sword.
Bit of instability on his single leg balance. Looked like he was able to close out and hold on to it, but we'll have to see how the judges score it. Good speed, very athletic.
So far, all the Egypt athletes are strong and fast and very athletic. Stand by for final score.
There we see a throw and jump outside kick. Really difficult combination to execute, particularly having the precision to throw the sword in the right direction to be able to catch the handle. Final score 8.600. We see 4 A group deductions. Overall group C score 1.55. And with that, that wraps up this men's Jianshu event. In first place, our gold medalist, Qizhen Li from China. Our silver medalist, Wang from Malaysia. Rounding out bronze, Song from Macau. Congratulations to our medalists, adding more medals to their overall country's medal count. And we will be taking a slight break in field of play 2. We will return shortly with women's Qiangshu. You'll want to stay tuned. We've got an action-packed latter half in this field of play too. Extremely strong world champions throughout this division. Stay tuned. And we are back for women's Qiangshu, where we have a field of 22 competitors. There we have our athletes lining up, preparing to do battle. Our first competitor is up, Patricia Nasir from Lebanon, kicking us off for women's Qiangshu.
So Mario, I'm very excited to be commentating on this division.
This was your event, wasn't it?
Yes.
Now Qiangshu is a very difficult weapon. Add Nandu to it. It's extremely difficult. Paula, anyone you're excited to see?
I have a few athletes that I want to watch, but I have a Brazilian girl, the Brenda Porfirio, that I want to see her doing her own thing. It's her first adult World Games, so I'm pretty excited to watch her. So the spears, it's a very hard weapon to master because it's they call a king of the weapons, right? The techniques, it's very complex to do it right and make it look easy, and it's heavy.
We'll stand by for Patricia's score. Final score for Patricia, 7.336. Looks like we had 2 age judge deductions for king below shoulder level. Overall group C score of 0.80.
And the next competitor is from Canada, Winnie Chang Hui.
Winnie is a very strong competitor from Canada. I know that she's been to other world championships. We'll have to see how she fares. We've got a really stacked group of competitors, some very fierce world champions from multiple world championships, some coming off medal podium finishes as early as yesterday.
Very fast, Lana.
Looks like Winnie is utilizing one of the new composite spears. Paula, have you gotten your hands on one of those yet?
Not yet. I didn't have the chance.
They are really nice, really well balanced. Now, of course, some athletes still opt to go the old school way. I can't
Yep.
even believe that I'm saying the old school way, but good old wooden spears. They have a lot more flex. The new composite staffs, however, are extremely light. Just as difficult to wield, however. Jump front kick aerial.
Nice sequence. Nice stance.
Wendy showing off her flexibility. Really solid performance so far. Butterfly into a cross-legged sitting stance, going into her closing movements. That's what you want to see, maintaining crisp, sharp movements all the way to the very end. Really strong performance from Winnie Tai. We'll stand by for her score. Our second competitor in this field of 22. There you just see the amount of power that she exerts on her spear, the amount of flex.
If I get my hands on this spear, I might want to compete again. And her final score is 9.463. Perfect score for A group and perfect score for C group.
And up next is Ayan Poon from Malaysia. Again, another very strong athlete who is no stranger to the World Championships. Very strong spear competitor.
It looks like her spear is also the new one.
You can just see the poise and focus even before her performance has started. When she enters into the arena, she means all business. Jump inside 540 to horse stance landing. Jump outside 540 to horse. Really solid jumps. High level of difficulty.
Now she's going to show her speed and power through the weapon. I love how elegant this division looks. All the posture and the round movements. Butterfly to sitting stance. Very strong performance. Her final score is 9.373. She had 2 deductions, but she had a perfect score for C group.
Looks like she received deductions for her horse stance. 2 horse stance deductions, perfect C score. That's good for second place. Up next is Thuy Vi Duong from Vietnam, our silver medalist from yesterday's Jianshu event. Again, another world champion medalist from other world championships.
She had been for a couple of world games before. Nice.
Jump inside split. Setting up for another jump. Jump outside 540 to horse stance, nicely done.
Jump from kick aerial.
Aerial, getting all of her jumps out of the way. Now, of course, as we've seen with a lot of these events, it really is coming down to the B score. So all jumps aside, now she really needs to turn up the intensity and demonstrate her ability to wield the spear.
Nice slide, spear in the hand movement.
Tui is definitely going to be able to break into the top 3. It's just a matter of where she secures her place and then tries to ride out the storm of the other competitors. We'll have to see how she fares with the judges. There you see her jump inside, huge air on that jump inside split. Tui anxiously awaiting her score.
And her final score is 9.593. Perfect C score, perfect A score, getting her in first place for now.
Now our next competitor is another member of the Ukraine team, Ludmila Temna. She's been to several world championships, really strong competitor as well. Now a lot of these athletes have competed earlier in the championships, got their nerves out, so now is their time to shine.
Strong beginning.
Really intricate opening. Jump outside 360 to split, showing off her flexibility.
Jump from kick to aerial. Jump inside kick to split. So Mario, you can see that the spear is going out of the area, out of the white line. So the spear can go outside the area without any deductions.
Aerial split.
Very athletic so far.
She's
Now,
extremely flexible, very strong flexibility, lots of power. There's here butterfly to cross-seated stance.
she has a good combination of strength and flexibility. Final score 9.593. 5-7, perfect C score and perfect A score, getting her to second place.
Our next competitor is from Indonesia, Nandhira Maurishka.
Strong opening. Jump from kick sitting stance. Getting ready for next jump. Jump from kick aerial. Jump inside kick to horse stance 360. Jump outside to sitting stance. Jump inside kick to split, and she touched her toes to the front leg on the floor. That's gonna cost her a deduction. Now it's all about showing her technique and speed. Butterfly to sitting stance. Was a very good performance, but that split is gonna cost her some points. Final score 9.296, and the deduction for A group was for losing balance and the split.
Looks like she missed one of her connection movements for that split, the
Yep.
1.90 overall Group C score. And as it stands, third place is currently held with a 9.463. That margin is, if I'm gonna guess, it's probably gonna get, that bar's gonna set a little bit higher. This is Hiju Seo from Korea, really strong athlete, bronze medalist already in her bag for women's Jianshu yesterday. I'm sure she's eager to try to add another medal to Korea's medal count. Jump inside 540 to horse stance. Unfortunately, she was not able to hold on to the landing. Now, Paula, do you think that it adds a little bit more difficulty to a lot of this Nandu, having to do it with the spear?
Definitely, the spear is very long. Well, now the new spear is not so heavy, but it's a long and heavy weapon. So to do a Nando with that, it's quite hard. It was a good performance.
She's a really strong competitor.
Yeah.
It was really strong. She's able to recover really well, showing poise. But as you mentioned, Paula, having to do the difficulties with the spear just adds another level of complexity.
Final score is 9.32, and she had a deduction for losing balance, and for C group, she lost her landing. On the
0.15, 1.85 total C score. You can see how a couple of technical deductions can really hurt your score. Our next competitor is our gold medalist from yesterday's Jianshu event, Yi Li. Again, another really strong spear and straight sword competitor.
jump outside 540 to horse stance, jump front kick aerial, jump inside to a split, jump outside 360 to horse stance, jump front kick to sitting stance.
Now, although a lot of these difficulty movements are being executed by a lot of the athletes, you can just see just what sets Yi Li apart. Just how much power she executes in the kicking leg, her level of flexibility, just the amount of precision that she has in the landing. There's no additional movement or swaying required. There's just a lot of finesse in a lot of the execution of the movements.
Yeah, she's very solid and consistent in all the jumps and landing, and very fast.
What do you think, Paula?
Good enough for first place.
First place is currently at a 9.593. Now it'll be interesting how the medals remain for the next couple of athletes in this division. We still have athletes from China.
Yep, 9.636. Getting her first place, perfect C score, perfect A score, and her performance was 2.636.
That's definitely one of the high scores that we've seen from all day today. We'll have to see how that holds up with the remaining field of competitors.
Next competitor, Annabelle Yejun Yang from New Zealand. Jump outside to horse stance. Jump from kick aerial. Jump inside to a split.
Now it looks like she landed with both feet upright and then went into a split, so we'll have to see what the judges score. You have to land and execute the split landing, otherwise they would not count the movement connection.
And a couple of kicks in the jump was below the shoulder level. Jump inside to horse stance. She lost a little balance.
Now, Paula, what is it that you think that makes spear so difficult?
Wow, the technique of the spear um, for itself is very, very hard. You have to practice a lot of basics and fundamentals and um, spend a lot of time with the flowers and the lana jia, especially lana jia. You have to have a good lana jia. And afterwards, try to get more speed in each movement.
There we see the landing. We'll stand by for Annabelle's final score. Final score for Annabelle, 7.933. We see a series of A group deductions. Overall group C score of 1.25. Our next competitor awaits on the sidelines. Our next competitor is from Singapore. Xinting Isabella Chua enters the arena. Now, Paula, when you were competing, did you prefer going towards the beginning portion of an event or towards the tail end? Or did you like to go in the middle?
That's a hard question to answer. uh,
Well, first, you got the nerves.
yep,
You go in the middle, you kind of know what your competition has been.
yep.
Going towards the tail end, you know what you're facing.
I had the opportunity to be the first and go the middle and at the end. But I think going first, it's good because you're first and then you're done. But
No
it's,
nerves, you just get it
yeah,
out of the way.
but it's also hard because you are setting the score for the whole division. So maybe in the middle, going to the end.
Towards the tail end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Score wise,
Isabel doing a good job so far.
I remember in 2000. Oh, there you go. Final score 9.533. Perfect score for C group and A group, getting her to fourth place. So I remember in 2003 Macau World Games, the first girl was a Chinese athlete, and I went right after her. Man, that was so difficult for me to follow her through. But it was quite good because she settled the score really high. So our next competitor is from Argentina, Melina Fiorella Arevalo. So Mario, one of the curiosities about a spear, it's when the palm of the hand is sweaty, it get a little sticky to the sword, to the spear. What do you think athletes do so we won't get caught on the spear?
So I know a lot of athletes like to use a little secret known as baby powder
Yes.
to be able to, so it doesn't affect the grip as they are sliding the shaft of the spear up and down as they wield the weapon. The new composite spears are a little bit slicker and they do have a little bit of texture on them, so it's not as bad of a problem. But I know that athletes really do like to favor baby powder. I know that baby powder is a tool that you'll find around any wushu gym across the world.
Yeah, I remember I used it. I just want to know if they still use it, the baby
Oh,
powder.
they still use it. Some athletes even like to just baby powder up their entire forearms.
To be all
Yeah.
white. Stand by for Melina final score. I remember once I was watching a spear, men's spear. He put so many powder that when he did a kick, you could see the powder in the air, and it kind of looks cool.
I know some athletes tend to use it as a little bit of showmanship.
Yes. And final score 8.64. He had 3 deduction for A group and a deduction for C group. Next competitor is from Australia, Ada Tang Yet Pui. Jump outside to horse stance. Jump from kick sitting stance. Oh, she lost her grip over there. Jump from kick. It looks like the kick was below the shoulder level. Jump inside kick horse stance. Jump outside to city stance.
The competition of arena number 1 for men's silent step just has ended.
So the athletes need to show good
All
technique,
the judges
especially
of
in
arena
Lanada
number 1,
movement.
please stand up.
Butterfly to sitting stance.
All the judges of arena number 1, please march out.
Jump outside.
Now,
to
Paula,
horse stance.
is there a requirement for the length of the spear?
Yeah, the athletes need to put their hands up above the head, and the tip of the spear need to be on the tip of the finger, the middle finger. And the final score is 8.023. She had 3 deductions for her A score and 2 deductions for C group. Next competitor is China, Ming Zhao.
Now, Paula Menjiao had some difficulties yesterday in women's Jianshu.
Yeah, with her landing.
She had a miss on her jump outside 540 to horse stance landing. I'm sure she's eager to recover from that mishap yesterday. Ooh, unfortunately, a stumble in that cross-seated stance there.
Yeah,
Butterfly twist. Jump
jumping
inside 360 to split. Jump outside 540. Recovering really well. Showing the power and execution of her difficulties.
What do you think, Mario?
I think she showed poise in the way that she was able to continue and finish her form. The way that she landed, it looked like she might have injured her ankle. It's difficult to tell, but it looked like she might have had a little bit of difficulty with a couple of different movements. But you can just see the level of precision that she has in her spear technique. I mean, that's what this is all about, coming back from adversity. She was able to continue and finish really strong.
Final score 9.34. She had a deduction for balance and for her landing. And the C group getting her to 7th place. She might have another chance tomorrow for Chanchuan. Next competitor is Brenda Porfirio from Brazil. This girl is only 14 years old. It's her first adult World Games. She placed 4th in the last year Junior Worlds in Brazil.
Now, Paul, as we were talking yesterday, you were mentioning that her wushu is a family affair in her
Yes.
household.
Her dad, the Brazil coach, the Brazil team coach, he used to compete at the Brazil team with me, like for a long period of years. And now he's coaching the team, and both kids are competing, and they are both really good.
So he is serving double duty on the
Yes.
sidelines. He is coach and dad.
I bet his heart is beating very fast. She's executing very well. Aerial. Jump inside to horse dance, a little stump over there. Nice speed of the spear. Jump from kick, aerial. Jump from kick to sitting stance. You can hear her dad screaming. Nice spear movements. Butterfly sitting stance, nice posture. She did a great job.
I'm sure she's made her father proud.
And the team proud.
She will stand by for her score.
Very beautiful movement, and her final score is 9.183. She had a deduction for A group, lost balance, and a deduction for her transition movement, her landing Mabul after the Nando jump, getting her 10th place. And the next competitor is from France, Juliette Vauchis.
8 competitors remain in this field of 22 women's Qiangshu. We still have very strong athletes from Iran, Vietnam, Japan, and Turkey. Plenty of opportunities for athletes to break into the top 3.
Jump outside to horse stance. Jump from kick to sitting stance. Jump from kick to aerial. Inside jump to a split. Powerful movements. Butterfly sitting stance. It was a good performance, strong. Final score 9.41. She had a deduction in A group and a perfect score for C group, getting her to 6th place.
Number 105,008 athlete, please march in.
Next competitor from Myanmar, Sandy O.
Jump outside 540 to horse stance landing. Unfortunately, looks like she was leaning a little bit back, couldn't hold on to it. Jump front kick aerial. Sandy's a really strong competitor. Very athletic, lots of power.
And she might have touched the floor with the spear.
That's one of those difficult portions of wielding a long weapon, particularly like spear, Paula, like you were mentioning.
Yep.
It just adds another complexity. Anytime that you potentially come close to the carpet and losing your balance, it's just an additional portion that might hit the ground.
It's a very nice sequence of movement.
Strong performance from Sandy. Unfortunately, there's at least one deduction that we counted. We'll have to see how the judges score it. You can just see the height of her kick, speed and height of her jump front kick aerial there.
And her final score is 8.943. She got deduct for her first non-do in the transition and one deduction for losing balance.
Our next competitor is from Iran. Really strong athlete, Zara Kiani. She barely missed a podium finish, took 4th in women's Jianshu. I'm sure she is anxious to come back. And again, athletes have already gotten their jitters out, so now it's really time to turn up the heat and really try to step up and bring home a medal. Zara, very capable, extremely powerful athlete.
And athletic. And very, very clean the movement. Outside jump to horse stance. Butterfly twist. Jump inside kick to split. Nicely done. Jump outside to horse stance.
Now here's really where Zara shines. I mean, her overall power, speed, and intensity. I mean, she's got endurance for days.
Yes.
She can just maintain this power throughout her routine.
Her movements are incredible, strong and fast. Unfortunately, I think she missed her grip on the sword for a little bit. We'll have to see if the judges saw that. Nice ending. Add a little bit of creativity. And strong finish. Overall, very, very good performance. What do you think, Mario? Is it good enough for top 3?
I don't know if she did get deducted for losing the grip on her weapon. That's at least a .1 deduction.
Yeah.
And it looks like the judges did catch it, 9.516. She got deducted for losing her grip on her spear. Overall group C score, perfect C score 2.0. Unfortunately, that .1 deduction cost her.
If it wasn't for that, she would be in second right now, but that mistake cost her.
Yeah, at this level of competition, particularly with this field of competitors, you really can't make any mistakes. Any little minor deduction is really going to cost you points. Our next competitor, Denise Avina Mendes from Mexico. We are down to our final 5 competitors for the evening. Still plenty of opportunity for some of our athletes to medal. Now, Paul, I'm curious to hear your perspective. We competed in pre-composite weapon days. Do you think there are any advantages to the new weapons, or do you think that old school weapons or wooden weapons are just as good?
Well, probably it's a lighter, the new ones, so it's easier to move and it gets less tiring during the performance. I didn't get my hands on this new weapon, but I bet the old ones are very harder to move around and to look like it's easy to go through the technique, the spear technique. I remember my spear being so heavy, and I used to get so tired of moving my arms burn.
Final score for Denise, 8.223.
Winner number 2, number
I count at least 3 A judge deductions, a number of C group
963.
deductions, 1.25 for group C score out of a potential 2.0.
Number 153AL4 athlete, please march in.
Our next competitor is Thi Hien Nguyen from Vietnam.
But back then, we didn't have Nando's for long weapon.
You know what was sad is when they broke. When you broke your weapon, I still remember breaking my
Oh
staff.
yeah. I broke my staff once at War Games in the beginning. Well, it happens.
Jump outside 540. Little loss of balance. She was able to maintain that though.
Showing a clean performance.
There we see her teammate watching from the sidelines, coaching her through.
And final score 8.963.
Winner number 2, number
One deduction for A group
153AL4 athlete,
and a deduction for C group.
8.963.
Getting her to 14th place.
Winner number
We are
2,
down to our final 3 competitors. Up next is Kabita Thapa from Nepal. On deck, we have Keiko Yamaguchi from Japan. And still up is Elif Akut from Turkey, rounding out our final competitor for the evening.
Showing her Lanata technique. Jump outside to horse stance. Jump from kick to aerial. Jump inside kick to split. Jump from kick to sitting stance. Now he's gonna. Now she's going to show her technique and speed.
Can hear her teammates in the stands cheering her on. Now, Paul, I'm curious from your perspective, when you competed at Worlds, could you hear your teammates cheering for you? Does it help?
Ah, it depends. It really depends. Sometimes I could hear and it helped. Sometimes I just shut everything out and it's just me and the carpet. I couldn't see anything else. When you really, really focus, it's just you and you don't hear anybody. Well, that was for me. But sometimes I needed the outside motivation, so I wanted to hear the cheering. Her final score is 8.956. She had a deduction on A group for balance and a deduction for C group, getting her 15th place. Next competitor is from Japan, Keiko Yamaguchi.
Keiko is a very experienced team member from the Japan team. She's been to many World Wushu Championships. Very consistent athlete. Competed yesterday. We'll see how she fares tonight. Jump front kick sitting stance. Jump front kick aerial. Going into jump inside 360 to split. Really solid landing.
Strong and fast jumps.
Now again, third place is set really high. Lyudmila Temna is currently holding third place from Ukraine with a 9.57. Keiko really has to push her B score in order to break into the top three and avoid any technical deductions. Doing a good job so far. It looked like there was a slight loss of balance there on the split.
At this point, you cannot make a single little mistake to be in the top three. Very strong routine. Let's see what the judge think about her split, if they are going to deduct. Yep, 9.516, and the deduction was for her split. She had a perfect score for C group and only one deduction for A group.
And it looks like that is it. That wraps up this evening's women's spear event. Our final medal tally is Yi Li from Macau taking home the gold, Thuy Vi Duong from Vietnam securing the silver, and Lyudmila Temna taking home the bronze. Congratulations to these medalists. They definitely earned it. Fierce battles back and forth. Paula, what did you think about this evening's events?
Well, it was really, really good and fun to watch Jianshu and Jianshu, especially because it's my favorite weapons. And we had a quite a battle of these two events. And yep, watching girls is always fun for me.
Well, it's been a long day.
Yep.
Time for the athletes to go home and recover and prepare for our third day of competition. We are sure to come back tomorrow morning with tons of action. In field of play 1, we will be showcasing men's Shuang Dao double broadsword, men's Nan Dao, and in field of play 2, we'll be coming back with woman's staff and woman's Taiji Tren. You'll want to make sure that you're back tomorrow morning for the morning session. This is Mario Martinez, and
This is Paula Midani.
good night.
See you guys tomorrow.